Welcome back. So previously we prepared our Excel spreadsheet which we transformed from the SPSS file, and what I did was just I froze the top row and I added some formulae. Okay, now first let's just, because this SAS score, this is actually from SPSS, so now it's good to confirm, or actually to try to do it also in Excel. So now let's just have another one just for the sake of confirming the computation in SPSS. So what we can do is like SAS score Excel, name it. It's very muffled name, but then it's gonna be worth it. And first we're gonna always start the formula with an equation. With an equation sign symbol. We're gonna sum the whole row. Basically, it's actually C, starting from C2 to V2, and just gonna close the bracket, and we get 40. So in Excel, it's convenient that we just click on the cell that we have the formula in, and then everything will just gonna be it's just gonna follow everything. The rest of the rows will just follow, and we can just confirm that we got that right. So that's how we actually compute the SAS underscore score. Remember when we did in SPSS, we have to transform and put the variable and compute it manually, by clicking. But still, we use the function, remember? Use the function sum. But in SPSS, it seems it's a lot easier. I don't know, which one do you prefer? Okay, that's one thing. We got the SAS score. Now, what we need to do after we get the SAS score, we can compute the individual mean for each of the item. First, the mean for the item. So basically, we start with the equation and then use average, and I think our data is at the cell starts from C2 to C501. There you go, it got selected. If you know where your data is, where the array is, so you just name it C2 from C501 and hit enter. Another way to do this is to actually do it manually by doing average, and we just select our data. If you're able to hold your mouse and select the one that you need, that's another option. That's it. And earlier we just drag everything and we get all the means for each of the items. If you want some if you need some decimal points, it's better to have some decimal points too for precision, because this is a rating scale. And we can see here that we can always play with the decimal, with the reduce, or we increase decimal points and so on. And that's one way. Okay, next I'm interested in looking at the the standard deviation for the whole item. So here we can do what we can do is we can just use the formula is is SGDY5063 because we want the sample standard deviation, and we're just gonna say that the data is from C2 to C501. Yep, we got selected, and then there you go, we got our standard deviation, and we drag it and it fills up the rest. Okay, after we got the mean and standard deviation, some of us might argue, say, oh, I'm going to be interested in variance. Okay, let's do the variance too. Let's find the variance for each of the items. So basically, we know that standard variance is just standard deviation squared. So one way, instead of using the formula, you just can, choose the standard deviation up there and square it, and you get the variance. Or if you are not certain whether you're doing the right thing, you can always check by using the formula available. So you can use from C2 again and to C501. There you go. We get exactly the same thing. So in this case, I prefer to use the formula. So I'm just going to copy this. Just going to copy and paste the formula. Oh, it got changed. Because now the array changes. So we have to correct this so we get the right thing. There you go. Back. So I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to use this, and yep. Sometimes in Excel it's good to double check whether you are using the right information, the right data that you want. Yep, it's selecting the one that you want. I'm just going to save this. And then before I forget, is that we have to do similar thing, and it's good to do for the sum score that we have. So what we have to do, this is X column, so I'm going to X2 up to X501. Oh yeah, 501, and we got the mean and the standard deviation for the whole score. Oops, SGDY5063 from X to X2 to X501. There you go. Okay, and then for the variance, we have var. Yep. Okay, I'm going to double click. That's how you do it one way. And I'm just going to click X05 all the way to back to X2. Make sure you close the parenthesis and get the variance. So now you have the mean, the standard deviation for the items, the variance, and you get the scale for the scale, and also you get the variance. And now what else do we do for SPSS earlier? Oh yeah, we did the item total correlation. So now we are interested in correlation. So based on this formula, this is a formula of Pearson correlation, where it is based on covariance of the two variables divided by the standard deviations of both variables. So now I know that I need the standard deviation for my items, and also because I want item total correlation, I need for items, and definitely for my total score, the success score. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do covariance first before I'm doing the find the correlation. So for the covariance, we can use the formula provided by Excel. So we have covariance here and covariance for the same array, which is the C2, C2 to C501. And then the second array, because it's between two variables, the first variable is our item 1. This is the whole item 1, C2 to C501 is just for item 1. And then we want the SAS score, the total score of our scale. We have it. So the name of the scale is X2 to X501. So basically we are selecting this item, and this variable, the item 1, and this variable, the total score. That's why we call it item total correlation. And we got the covariance, and just hit enter. So we just got the covariance between item 1 and the SAS score, the total score. And then we're just gonna drag it. Oops. Okay. This happens when there's no data selected, because it assumes that it builds up, because we calculated earlier here SAS score manually. So basically over here it uses the SAS score, the one that we conducted, instead of this one. But that's okay because they're the same. But then when we don't have anything next, so it starts to give us error or something like unable to compute. Okay, what did I miss earlier in the first formula is that to actually anchor, because we just want to refer all items, but we're going to correlate each item with the same total score. What we need to anchor that particular column. So in order to do that, we have to use the $sign in front of each cells, basically. So we got that, and let's try and see whether it works. Yep, it works this time. Now everything for the second one is the second item, the correlation between the second item and the total score. Same goes to the third item and the total score. See, the third item is actually E, column E2 to E501, and then straight all the way to the SAS score. And that's it. And you get everything correctly. But that's covariant. What we are interested in is actually the correlation. So now let's do the correlation. I'm just going to rename it to be very precise. Okay, before the video ends again, it's almost 15 minutes. I have to actually stop every 15 minutes because I'm using the free version of the Screencast-O-Matic to record this video. So item total correlation. Okay, item total covariance basically. And let's this correlation, item total. There you go, correlation. Okay, I'm just gonna stop here and continue in the next video because it's almost 15 minutes. And I'll see you in part 4.